Hey you guys. So Noah and I are going to be demonstrating some exercise moves that you can do with your little one. So before we get started, just a couple of like safety precautions and just tips. If you have a really, really, really little one, like an infant or a newborn, I should say, uh, you may think about wearing them in a wrap. So, like, I have the boba wrap, and that's really great because it keeps them nice and close. But I can still do things in it. I'm obviously not going to go for a run, but could still probably do some of these basic exercises. But otherwise, you do want to make sure if you're going to be holding your kid that they're able to support their head, right? So you want to make sure that their neck is fairly strong so that they can, they're not flopping all over the place as you're doing these things. And they're all going to be fairly low impact moves. So like I said, we're not going to be like running or jumping, obviously. So now if you have bigger kids, then you can get them involved and have them participate. If I'm doing things that I can't necessarily do with him, then I've got all kinds of like his little lounger here, and I've got a little play mat and exerciser, so there's plenty that I could keep him entertained with as I kind of finish a quick workout. But anyhow, another word of advice is make sure that they haven't just eaten if you're going to be doing these with them, because they might be going up and down a little bit and that could get their tummy rolling and you might get some spit up in your face, so we don't want that to happen. But anyhow, I'm going to take you guys through the moves. I think I've got about 7 moves or so that you can do with your little one. And of course, your form is going to be very important because you don't want to compromise that since you're going to have a extra weight here. Excuse you. Did you burp or hiccup? All right, guys. So the first one, we're just going to do a basic squat. And so there's different ways that you could hold your child. I would say, for me, what's most comfortable, I don't probably want to hold him over here because that's going to make me off balanced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn him outward facing, and I'm actually going to bring my arm around to the front, and then my other arm kind of like through his legs here, so that way he's nice and secure, and I kind of have him like centered a little bit so I won't be so off balance. But yeah, I can just hold him right here, and then we want to be a little bit further than shoulder width apart for our stance on our legs, and then we can just go down and up, down and up. And they probably will have some fun with this too. So even though I'm holding him, he's have fun, making sure my shoulders are still kind of pressing back as much as I can. Let me show a side view. Okay, anytime with squats, we want to make sure that the knees are not going beyond the toes. Okay, so we want to push that butt back, right? Keep those shoulders back. Now, if it's too much, you can always shorten your range of motion, right? So you don't have to go quite as deep, but you can still get a nice burn. And if you're holding a little weight here, it's gonna get that heart rate up a little bit quicker, okay? So you can do squats. I'm gonna turn him around. Here we go, bye. I'm already breathing heavy. All right, now I'm gonna do another variation of a squat, but this time I'm gonna make it a squat press, okay? So on this one, I'm gonna bring my legs together a little bit closer. I'll show you guys the side stance though. So I've got him nice and secure, and I'm going to squat and then press high. Was that fun? Was that fun? Yeah, a little kiss in there too. Squat, press, squat, press. So you're just extending those arms, so you're getting another, yeah, is that fun? A little arm workout in there as well. Okay, so that's another good one. And I got about a 20-pound weight here, so my arms are burning, right? So squat, press. All right, so there's some squat work. Now, the next one is going to be a lunge. Okay. So on this one, again, I'm going to sort of go back to that original position of how I was holding him on the standard squat. And this one, You kind of have to go based on how comfortable you feel, but you might just do one side at a time and then switch to the other, just because, you know, you are holding precious cargo here. So on this, I would probably, you could do a step back or a forward lunge, but I'll just show stepping back and then coming up, okay? So when you step back, you want to get that nice 90-degree angle, and then we come back, okay? So you could do like, you know, 10 on one side, and then I could probably still do it with him that way, but I'll just kind of switch which arm is in front here. Okay, you ready, bud? So down, up, wee, wee. And I think it's so much fun. It's really the cutest. This is such an awesome way to bond with them, because he's having fun clearly, and mommy's getting a workout too. You could also do a forward lunge. I'd probably be a little bit careful on that, again, because you have, you know, that extra weight you're holding. But back lunge is a good option. All right, so next one. Okay, so I'm gonna actually not be holding him for these next few. So if you've got a little one that's starting to like roll around, or maybe doesn't want to be held, but will maybe, you know, not wander off too far yet, then this is a good option. So push-ups, okay? Basic, very basic, but we're gonna add a little, we're gonna add a little smooch in there, okay? So you wanna come up above baby. Well, hello. And you can either do your standard push-up on your toes, okay? Or if you need to, come down to your knees, okay? Do whatever you are most comfortable with. Are you ready, bud? All right, and on that, we are gonna go down. And we're just gonna give a little kiss. Now, obviously, I might not get down quite as far as I normally would, like chest to the ground type thing, because I got Noah Berry here, right, bud? Ready? Ready? But it's just like, it's just a fun way to, yeah, feel the burn. Mommy's burning. My arms are burning. And he's obviously enjoying it too. So on that push-up position, make sure your butt stays down, okay, even if you are on your knees. Oh, you're gonna roll the leg? Yeah, tell me. Tell me. Okay, so push-ups. We can kind of do, go to a plank. We won't be coming down on that one, but you can also just hit a plank position. Tell me more. So in that case, your hands, you want them to be directly below your shoulders, okay, like that. And coming up, nice strong core, pressing that energy through your heels, your butt's down, nice flat back. And we can just hang out here. And you know what, if you have one of those, like, well, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Say if I had one of those necklaces that are long enough for you to play with, but you probably try to yank it off me. Tell me, so we can just chat it up. Hi, bud, are you gonna get those feet? Okay, you can just, you know, try to hold this as long as possible. Go for a set time. But all these little things you can just sneak in, you know, random times throughout the day if you have to. Hi, I know. And on the plank, you can also come down to, if you want to get a little closer to baby. Hi, sweetie. This is actually really nice because you can come down to your forearms. Hi. And we can just give kisses all day here. I know. So this is another great option. Okay, again, nice flat back. Yes. And you can come down to your knees to modify that if you need to. All right, so moving on. The last two I've got are gonna get our abs a little bit, because I know us mommies are always wanting to try and tighten that tummy back up after having you guys in there, stretching it out. So, all right, the first one is gonna be glute bridges. Yes, there's a couple of options on this for how you can position baby. Again, probably depending on, like, you know, how old they are and whatnot. I do this with Christian, my 3-year-old, and some of the other ones I could actually, I could do with him too. So it just depends on, you know, you know, how big they are and how comfortable you are. And I just heard a burp, so I'm gonna wait a second because I think something's coming up. Although you didn't just eat. A little delayed. Okay. All right, so, all right, I'm gonna be brave. All right. So I'm gonna come down onto my back. Knees are bad. And you can either keep baby, you know, kind of upright, but obviously make sure they're nice and secure here. And he's gonna try to start wiggling, so I gotta be really careful. Ready? You wanna go for a ride? And then when you do that glute bridge move, so all you're doing is you're lifting your hips, and as I lift my hips, I'm squeezing my butt, right? So core is squeezing, my butt is squeezed together, my butt cheeks are squeezed together, and then we come down. Up. And then we come down. Up. And then we come down. Up. And then we come down. So squeeze those butt cheeks. Yep. Now, if you wanted them to get a little tummy time in, okay, or if maybe he's going to be lifting his head. We can even come down here a little bit. Okay, again, nice and secure. All right, you ready, big boy? Okay, ready? Up, and then down. So again, just make sure you got them nice and tight. Up, and then down. Up, and then down. Up, and then down. Up, and then down. All right, guys. Woo, ready? So that's what I've got for you in terms of moves that you can actually do with your baby. Like I said, you can always, you know, I think just having them close by even, and you know, believe it or not, they'll be entertained watching you do this, and just think about, you know, the good example that you're setting as well. And you can still like interact with them, obviously. It's not like you're ignoring them. But yeah, so I hope those are helpful. And then I did also just want to finish with a couple of tips for how you can get exercise in sort of non-traditionally, like around your house doing different things. I don't have anything here to like model with, but in terms of squats, right? If you are folding laundry, okay, so I know that I tend to like sit down on the floor or on the bed or something. So get up, right? And have your laundry basket nearby. And every time you need to reach in to get something, do a squat, right? You can reach down and get it, fold it, do what you need to do with it, but just a really simple way to get some leg work in. When you're cooking dinner, right? I know we're standing around the stovetop a lot, just in the kitchen. So, and this is actually another one you could do with baby pretty easily, but do some calf raises, right? As you're sitting there mixing the items in the pot or whatever it is that you're doing. This is so simple. And just, you know, you're squeezing those calf muscles, pressing high, quads are getting a little work too. Dance parties with your kids, right? If you got older kids especially. I know we have dance parties all the time in the kitchen with Christian, and no one wants to get in on the action, but you kind of watch everybody and jump in your jumper, right? So dance parties are always a fun way to get your heart beating a little bit faster. And then, what was the last one that I had? Oh, yeah, you know, if you do watch, you know, TV at all, if you watch a show with your family together, if you just watch like a 30-minute show to decompress in the evenings, using the commercial break, right? During that commercial break, see if you can hold a plank the whole time. I know. Or maybe during one commercial, do some push-ups, and then in the next commercial, hold a plank, and then in the next commercial, do some of those glute bridges or squats. So there's, you know, if you have a hard time maybe one day fitting in a formal workout, there's so many little things you can do to, like I say, get your heart rate up, because, you know, something is definitely better than nothing. So, all right, I hope that was helpful, you guys. Can you say bye? Can you say bye-bye? Say bye. All right, guys, have a great one.